Yeah, good morning, everyone. We studying about NMOS inverter in this particular lecture. In the previous lectures, we have studied about what is meant by depletion mode transistor and enhancement mode transistor, and we have seen that how a particular transistor with the depletion mode will be working and how an enhancement mode transistor will be working. We know that in the depletion mode transistor, even though we don't supply any kind of voltage as an input at the terminal, the particular transistor will be in the on state. The main reason why it is going to be in the on state because the channel will be present before supplying the input signal to the particular depletion mode transistor. But whereas when we come to this enhancement mode transistor, the channel is not going to be present initially. We are supposed to supply some input voltage, and that voltage has to be given at this gate terminal. As we go on supplying the input voltage, it means that if we increase the input voltage, here the input voltage should be greater than threshold voltage. When the input voltage, if you start supplying the input voltage from 0 volts, 0 to 1, 1 to 2, like that, if you go on supplying, whenever it reaches at the point of threshold voltage, right from the point of threshold voltage, your transistor will be turning on, and then the channel will be formed. Channel is going to be formed, and if you go on increasing the input voltage, the width of the channel will be increased, and the maximum amount of current conduction takes place uh, in that particular channel. So that's how the enhancement mode transistor will be working. And in the depletion mode transistor, even though we don't supply the voltage at this one, at the gate terminal, the channel is present and the conduction is already uh, in the working state before supplying of the input voltage. So in order to stop this depletion mode transistor, we will be supplying some negative voltage. As we supply the negative voltage, the it will be like nullification of charges takes place because of the positive and negative charges, and the channel width will be reduced gradually as we increase this negative voltage. And at one particular point of time, the entire voltage will be lost and your depletion mode transistor will come into off state. So this is a working condition of depletion mode and enhancement mode transistor, which we have seen in the previous lecture. So now, see here for this enhancement mode transistor, this is how the enhancement mode transistor looks like. Here, the difference between the enhancement mode and depletion mode transistor is that for the depletion mode transistor, a thick line will be drawn at the gate terminal. Here, a thick line will be drawn. This is a darkened part, whereas for the enhancement mode transistor, you will not be having a darkened part. That is the main difference in order to the enhancement mode transistor. We have seen what is meant by enhancement mode and depletion mode up to now. So see here now. Okay. For this NMOS inverter, we'll be using the enhancement mode transistor and also depletion mode transistor. So now we'll study about what is meant by enhancement mode transistor, NMOS inverter, and also depletion mode transistor. So this is the enhancement mode transistor and depletion mode transistor with the three terminals. And this is the enhancement mode transistor and depletion mode transistor with the four terminals. The four terminals is a substrate or the body terminal. You can see this B indicates that it's the substrate or the body terminal. So let us start our class of this NMOS inverter. Firstly, the basics of inverter. The basics of inverter, we know that the basic arrangement for producing a complete range of logic circuits. This is an inverter which is mainly used in order to produce any kind of CMOS structure and also for logic circuits. So we know the operation of an inverter. Whenever you supply 0 as an input, the output will be 1. Whenever you supply 1 as an input, the output is going to be 0. So now see now. The construction of an CMOS inverter, it will be done with the help of one PMOS and one NMOS, which is equivalent to this structure, where you will be having the two resistors here, which are connected in series. The two resistors are connected in series. Whenever we supply this 0 volts, then this resistor is going to be in the on state, that it will be like short circuit. The current will be flowing through this one, and you will be obtaining some output at the V out. That's V0 is nothing else but V out. But at the same time, the same input 0 is applied to the second resistor. It will be like an open circuit. It becomes as an open circuit, so you cannot expect any kind of current flow from this one. So your output will be going to be 1. So now the case for this 1 equal to whenever you supply 1, this first resistor will become as an open circuit, and the second resistor will become as a closed circuit. So you will be getting an output with respect to this particular circuit resistor. With respect to particular resistor, with this resistor, you will be getting an output. So this is a simplified equivalent circuit of a CMOS inverter. So you can see here now. In the CMOS inverter, now we have drawn the CMOS inverter with the help of basic inverter with the help of one NMOS and one load resistor. So here in the previous slide, it was with 2 resistors. Now it is with the 1 transistor and 1 resistor. So in the basic inverter is the resistor with the source connected to the ground. So now this resistor, we know that for the NMOS transistor, the source of the NMOS here, so this is the source of the NMOS. So here at the source of the NMOS, excuse me. Yeah, this is a source of your NMOS, and this is a drain part of your NMOS. So you can see that the source of the NMOS is connected to the ground terminal, and the resistor, this is acting as a active load. It will act as an active load, and this active load part is called as a pull-up device, and the transistor is called as a pull-down device. Usually we have studied that PMOS is called as a pull-up device and NMOS is called as a pull-down device. So now here this resistor is acting as an equivalent circuit for the transistor, PMOS transistor. So this is a pull-up device and this is a NMOS is a pull-down device. So now the active load transistor is connected to the drain of this NMOS transistor, and the source of the NMOS transistor is connected to the ground terminal. So this is how you are supposed to make the connection of a inverter, basic inverter with the help of one NMOS and one resistor. Now the output is taken from the drain terminal. We know that the output of your this structure will be taken from the drain terminal. From the drain terminal, the output will be taken, and the resistors are not easily formed in silicon. That's why we will be going for using of a transistor in place of resistor. Whenever we use a transistor in place of resistor, we call that kind of MOSFETs as an pseudo resistors. Pseudo resistor is nothing else but a transistor which is being used in place of resistor. What is the main reason why we are switching from a resistor to a transistor is that firstly, we cannot design that resistor in a silicon fabrication. It is very complex. The main thing is it's very complex, and also it occupies large amount of area. It occupies large amount of area. That's why in order to have the same kind of working conditions of the resistor, we go for the pseudo resistor, which is being designed with the help of a MOSFET. So resistors are can also be used as in pull-up devices. So now let us see now the operation of this one pull-up devices. So before going to this operation, see now if I take one transistor here, NMOS transistor, which is connected like this to the VDD, and here you will be obtaining your output. Vout is your output. That's Vout, and the source of your NMOS is connected to the ground terminal. This is your ground terminal. This is your ground terminal. ground terminal. Now here, if I need to supply some input voltage here, Vi, if I supply the input voltage, then only I can obtain the output. So now this particular N transistor is equivalent to one resistor like this, which is equivalent to one resistor, which is connected to the ground terminal, Now, let me assume that here my VDD, my main supply VDD is equal to 5 volts. Let me assume that my VDD equal to 5 volts plus 5 volts. This is my supply VDD, which is equal to logic 1, because we know that the MOSFETs are being driven with the help of logic 1 or logic 0 as an input. So this is equal to logic 1. Whenever I supply logic 1 here, which is equal to 5 volts, then what happens? Here, in order to turn on this NMOS transistor, I need to give my voltage. I need to give my voltage which is greater than the threshold voltage. We know that whenever we need to turn on the transistor, your VGS, your input voltage, should be always greater than your threshold voltage. So what is that threshold voltage? It's the minimum voltage to turn on the transistor. So now let me assume that my threshold voltage is equal to 1 volt. If I assume my threshold voltage is equal to 1 volt, let us see what happens, how this particular transistor will be working. Whenever I supply this Vin equal to 1, whenever if I supply the Vin equal to 1, that Vin equal to 1 means what? I'm supplying some voltage which is equal to positive 5 volts. If I supply the Vin equal to logic 1, that means here you're supplying some voltage which is equal to 5 volts, which is greater than your threshold voltage. Then what happens? Your your N transistor is going to turn on. Your N transistor is going to turn on. N1 will be turned on. If N1 is turned on, definitely what happens? The current will be flowing through this particular transistor. Current is flowing through the particular transistor. It means that whenever you are turned on, the current will be passing here, and that current which is passing here is that the current will be, we know that we have studied in the BJT that accumulation of the current takes place at the collector region, and here the collector resembles your drain terminal. So the current which is passing here will be ID. That's the drain current will be passing in this resistor. If that is the case, whenever the current is passing, then the resistance of this resistor, resistors will be 1 kilo ohm. It will be equal to 1 kilo ohm. It will be equal to 1 kilo ohm. Now let us see what happens whenever your input voltage is equal to logic 0. Whenever your supply input voltage is equal to logic 0, when Vi equal to logic 0, it means what? Logic 0 means it is lesser than your threshold voltage. We know that this ground is equal to 0 volts. Ground equal to 0 volts. When ground equal to 0 volts, this ground 0 volts is lesser than your 1 volt. Then definitely what happens? Your transistor will not be turned on. Transistor not turned on means there is no channel in order to pass the carriers between the two terminals. Whenever there is no channel, so the current which is passing through in the resistor will be equal to 0. That is equal to 0 volts. So whenever this happens, whenever the current equal to 0, it means what? Your resistor or this transistor which is acting equivalent to resistor will be opposing the huge amount of current flow. That's why this transistor will become as an open circuit and it will not be passing any kind of current through that one. So whenever this transistor is acting as an open circuit, the resistance of this resistor will be equal to R of, whenever the R of equal to R of in this case will be equal to 10 power 12. It is equal to 10 power 12 kilo ohms. Whenever it is on, the resistance will be 1 kilo ohms. Whenever it is off, the R of is going to be 10 to the power of 12 kilo ohms. So this is how your N transistor will be working. If there is an N transistor, if you are turning on means you are supplying some positive 5 volts. If you are supplying a positive 5 volts, that positive 5 volts has to be greater than your threshold voltage. Why? Because a transistor will be turned on only when we supply an input voltage which is greater than the threshold voltage. So your threshold voltage has to be greater than this one, sorry, input voltage has to be greater than the threshold voltage. If you are supplying positive 5 volts means that is greater than 1 volt. So your transistor is turned on. Whenever it is turned on, the resistance, the current will be flowing through this transistor here. That is your ID will be flowing here. That ID is equal to this one, and whenever the ID is flowing, the resistance of this transistor will be 1 kilo ohms. Whenever you are supplying the input voltage equal to 0 volts, which is very less compared to the threshold voltage, that is lesser than the threshold voltage, so that's why your transistor will be turned off. And if it is turned off means your circuit is acting as an open circuit. In the open circuit, we know that you'll be having a huge amount of resistance. The resistance will be very huge. Whenever the resistance is very huge, we know what happens. There will be no passing of the current through that particular device. If the resistance is very huge, the transistor is turned off. In the off state of that one, R off is equal to 10 to the power of 12 kilo ohms. The resistance of that particular device will be 10 to the power of kilo ohms. Whenever it is on, it will be equal to 10 to the power 1 kilo ohm. If it is on, the resistance will be equal to 1 kilo ohm. If it is off, the resistance is going to be 10 to the power of 12 kilo ohms. So this is regarding the working condition of how your particular transistor will be. This N transistor is working in place of this particular circuit in the basic inverter. So let us see the now next one. Let us see now the NMOS inverter operation. In the NMOS inverter operation, you'll be having one resistor which acts as a pull-up device. This resistor will be acting as a pull-up device. So this is a PU. I'm writing it as PU, which means a pull-up device, and this will be acting as a pull-down device, PD. You might have seen even in your textbooks, this is pull-up and this is pull-down device. So now let us see the operation of your NMOS inverter. The operation of this circuit can be explained in this fashion. Whenever you supply some voltage here, whenever the VG is equal to 0, then what happens? The NMOS inverter T1 will be turned off, because whenever it is turned off, there is no channel. That's why the no current will be flowing through this resistor. Whenever the no current is flowing, then definitely what happens? So if current is not flowing through this one, the output voltage Vout will be equal to VDD. That is equal to logic 1. It is equal to logic 1. So that's why we call it as an inverter circuit. You are supplying 0 volts and you're obtaining 1 volt as an output. The next one, whenever you supply VG equal to VDD, that is equal to logic 1, then the transistor will be in a closed state, that is will be turned on. Whenever it is turned on, the transistor T1 starts conducting. Thereby the pulling down of the output node takes place to the ground. Whatever the previous state output is there, in the previous state the output which you obtained is equal to logic 1. Now that previous state output will be pulled down to the ground. So that's why whenever it is pulled down to the ground, due to the potential differences between this Vout and the ground terminal, then what happens? Ultimately at one particular point of time there will be no output. That is equal to logic 0. So this is the simple working condition of your NMOS inverter. In the NMOS inverter, you'll be having only one NMOS and the other one will be a resistor. And this is a simple circuit diagram of an NMOS inverter. You can see the two table here. Whenever you supply 0 as an input gate voltage, then T1 will be turned off. T1 is turned off, and the Vout is going to be 1. Vout is going to be 1. Which is equivalent to this resistor is called as a pull-up device, and this down part is called as a pull-down device. Now, whenever you supply 0 volts, we have seen, if you supply the 0 volts, what happens to the device? The device will be turned off. Whenever the device is turned off, this is turned off, so there is no current passing through this one. Since T1 is turned off, no current is passing, and the resistor will be acting here. And since it is directly connected to the VDD, some amount of current will be passing through this one, and ultimately you'll be getting the Vout is equal to VDD, which is equal to logic 1. Which is equal to logic 1. Now coming to the next state, whenever the VG is equal to 1, whenever VG is equal to 1, what happens? If VG is equal to 1, if VG is equal to 1, the transistor will be turned on. The transistor is turned on here. Logic 1, if you are supplying the logic 1 has an input voltage at this terminal, the transistor is turned on, then definitely what happens? Whatever the output is stored here previously, the output which is stored is logic 1. That logic 1 will be completely it will be pulled down to the ground terminal. Why does the pulling down of this output takes place? Because of the difference between the potentials here. This is having the higher potential at the output than the potential at this ground terminal is 0 volts, and here it is a logic 1, which is equal to whatever the voltage you supply at the VDD. In my case, let me assume now our VDD is equal to plus 5 volts. So if it is plus 5 volts, approximately plus 5 volts will be stored as an output here. It is not exactly plus 5 volts because there is some resistor here. The current which is passing through the resistor, there will be losses in that one. So you may get approximated value something like 4.8 or 4.995 like that. That value is greater than the 0 volts. So the pulling of that one takes place whenever this transistor is turned on. So ultimately, at one particular point of time, the entire whatever the logic is stored in this output will be pulled down to the 0 to the ground terminal, and you will be calling that one as a logic 0. Whenever there is no output present here, we call it as a logic 0. So this is the operation of an NMOS inverter. You can see even the truth table. In the truth table, you can see whenever the VG is equal to 0. Whenever VG is equal to 0, what is happening? Whenever the gate voltage is equal to 0, the transistor is turned off. Transistor is turned off. If transistor is turned off, the VDD will be flowing through the output. So we call it, so we get an output equal to 1. Whenever we supply the VG equal to 1 volt, the transistor is turned on. If a transistor is turned on, the previous output will be pulled down to the ground. So ultimately, at last, there will be no output at the ground terminal. We'll be getting an output be equal to 0 volts. So this is how it works with the NMOS inverter. So now let us see the same NMOS inverter with respect to the pseudo resistor, or else the one kind of a transistor which we use here in place of the resistor. So see here now, can anyone tell me what kind of transistor we have used here? Is it like a depletion mode transistor or else an enhancement mode transistor? So we have used here. This one, the transistor which are used is a depletion mode transistor. You can see here, this is a depletion mode transistor we have used. How can we tell we have used a depletion mode transistor? Because of this thick line at this part, at the gate terminal or the bulk. We have used a thick line. If we use a thin line, it is an enhancement mode transistor. We have used here thick line. That's the main difference between the enhancement mode transistor and depletion mode transistor symbols. So now here, if you are using a depletion mode transistor, always keep in your mind the gate terminal of this depletion mode N transistor will be always connected to the source of this N transistor. We know that for the N transistor, this terminal will be a drain terminal. This will act as a drain terminal, and this is your source terminal, and this part is a gate terminal. So now here in the depletion mode transistor, the gate terminal of a depletion mode transistor is always connected to the source of this N transistor. So this is how the connection should be made for the depletion mode transistor if you are trying to use the depletion mode transistor in an NMOS inverter. So now this is equivalent to this circuit now here, which is equivalent to this resistor here. And now let us see now. Whenever you supply Vin equal to 0 volts, whenever you supply Vin equal to 0 volts, what happens? This transistor will be turned off. There is no connection between the switch. The switch will be in the off state. So ultimately, this will be non-conducting state. The transistor will be in non-conducting state. Whatever the supply voltage is given here, that will be pulled to the output, and you will be getting a logic 1 as an input. Whenever you supply 1 as a input here, this switch will be turned on. It will be turned on. If it is turned on, then whatever the previous output has stored in the output, that will be pulled down to the ground. So this is how a transistor or NMOS transistor will be working with the help of a depletion mode transistor. Now let us see how to connect enhancement mode transistor in the NMOS inverter. If you are, I'm drawing only the first pull-up device. In the enhancement mode transistor, if you are trying to connect, or if you're trying to design an NMOS inverter with the enhancement mode transistor, the gate terminal of your NMOS inverter should be connected to the drain terminal. It should be connected to a drain terminal. That means to the VDD, and rest will be the same. This bottom part will be same. This is your enhancement mode transistor or E-MOSFET we are used for the NMOS inverter, and this one is the D-MOSFET which is used for your NMOS inverter. So this is the connection part, how a D MOSFET should be used for NMOS inverter, and this is how an enhancement mode transistor should be used for a NMOS inverter. In the D MOSFET, for a depletion mode transistor, the gate of your NMOS will be connected to the source terminal. In the enhancement mode transistor, the gate terminal will be connected to the drain terminal. The drain gate terminal is connected to the gate terminal. Here in the depletion mode, the gate terminal is connected to the source terminal. So that's a major difference between the enhancement mode transistor and depletion mode transistor connections. So you can see now here, same operation. I have kept another slide, not to make you understand. NMOS structure, NMOS depletion mode transistor pull-up device. This is your pull-up device. This will act as a pull-up device, and the bottom will act as a pull-down device. This is your pull-down device. So NMOS depletion is acting now as a pull-up device here. Pull-up is on. We know that since it's a pull-down, this is a depletion mode transistor. Since it's a depletion mode transistor, we know that there will be a channel formed before we supply the input voltage. Because of that reason, it will be always in the on state. In the depletion mode transistor, even if you don't supply the VGS, also your transistor will be in the on state. In the pull-down device, you're supposed to supply this voltage. Your input voltage should be always greater than the VTH in order to turn on this pull-down as a conducting transistor, or in order to make it as a conducting transistor. So now with no current drawn from the output, the IDS for both the transistors is equal. Whenever here in the both currents, see in the both currents, whenever the both are same, then the IDS value, the current flowing through the drain terminals will be equal whenever both the transistors are on state. This is the graph between the output voltage and the input voltage. You can see the graph how it works, and this is a non-zero output at this point. And these are few more characteristics which we have discussed in the previous lecture also. You can see that whenever this is a characteristics of an MOSFET. Whenever you supply some VGS is equal to lesser value, like in the negative value, the current will be less. If the VGS is going to be negative value, the current flowing through the device will be less. If the VGS is going to be positive value, then the current will be more. And probably this part is for the enhanced mode transistor, and this is for the depletion mode transistor. So this is the characteristics between the current drain current and the VDS minus VDD minus VDS. And these are the few more characteristics regarding how your VDD will be acting with respect to different voltages whenever you supply the input part. This is how we will be supplying. If VGS equal to ground, whenever VGS is equal to, whenever the VGS equal to VDD, your current will be very high here. If VGS is equal to minus if it is equal to 0.2 times of the VDD, then the current which is going to be very less. It depends upon the channel width. Supplying the voltage which is greater than the threshold voltage, then the supplying increasing the VGS errors will be flowing through that one, and the current will be gradually it goes on increasing. So these are the few characteristics about this MOSFETs, and this is a characteristics which has been drawn between the W/L ratios. W/L ratios, that's an aspect ratio, and now whenever this W/L ratio is increasing, you can see up to here the W/L ratio, if it is increasing, the characteristics will be like this. And if it is for the decreasing characteristics, decreasing of the ZPU means we are talking about the pull-up transistor and the pull-down transistor. That is a W/L of Z of pull-up by Z of PT. Then you will be having one linear line which is flowing through this one, and this is the previous characteristics between this VDD and the VDD minus VGS. So the point where V out is equal to V in, we call it as an V in equal to V inverter, this is a point. Whenever the V out is equal to V in value, so this is called, this has been mentioned here as a V invert. And here the transfer characteristics of V invert can be shifted by altering the ratios of pull up and pull down transistor. You can even shift this value. It is not compulsory that it has to be only up to here. It can even change its points from here to here or here in the lower cases. That depends upon your W by L ratios. That is the width of the transistor and the length of the transistor. And you can even see the impedances. Impedance also been given here. Impedance of the pull up divided by impedance of the pull down. If the value is increasing, then definitely what happens, it comes down in the linear structure. If the value is decreasing, it goes up like this. The linear diagram is drawn. Now let us see regarding the dissipation in the NMOS depletion mode inverter. In the NMOS depletion mode inverter, we can see that the dissipation is very high since the rail-to-rail current flows. What is actually happening in the NMOS depletion mode inverter? We know that the ground terminal is connected to the source terminal. Here, if this is an inverter here, this is an inverter, and this is your VDD. You can see that directly, since it is connected to the gate terminal is connected to source. Gate terminal is connected to source, and this one is a depletion mode transistor. Depletion mode transistor, it will be always on. If it is always on, because of that one, the power consumption will be more and the dissipation will be very high in case of your depletion mode transistor. So this is your depletion mode transistor. In the depletion mode transistor, the transistor will be always on. Because of that reason, the dissipation also is going to be very high. And now switching of output from 1 to 0 begins whenever the Vin exceeds the VTT. We know that whenever the Vin is greater than VT threshold voltage, then only what happens? The switching takes place. Switching takes place means what? Your transistor will be turning on or it will be turning off depending upon the Vin and the VTH. If Vin is lesser than VTH, then the transistor will be turned off. If Vin is greater than VTH, then the transistor will be turned on. So that happens with the pull down transistor. That is nothing else but your NMOS device. Here pull down means NMOS device. Now the switching of output from 1 to 0, whenever the switching from 1 to 0, here what happens, the pull-up device is non-saturated initially and this presents the lower resistances. We have discussed in the previous case. Whenever this pull-up is on, whenever this transistor is on, what is happening? If the transistor is on, we know that the resistance will be very less. It will be having lower resistances. If the transistor is off, the resistance will be very high. That is equal to 10 to the power of 12 kilo ohms, which is equal to almost infinite resistance will be there whenever your transistor is turned off, which is equivalent to which is equal to open circuit if the transistor is turned off, and if a transistor is turned on, it is equal to your open circuit. In that case, the resistance is going to be very less. Now coming to, you can see now here the enhancement mode transistor. In the enhancement mode transistor, I have told that your gate should be connected to the characteristics. You can see even the characteristics of both the NMOS inverters are same. So let us discuss only the operation part here. The dissipation is high since the current flows whenever the Vin equal to 1. We are talking about Vin here with respect to the pull down device only. We are talking Vin equal to 1 means we are talking with respect to pull down device. If Vn equal to 1, what happens? The dissipation will be 1. Dissipation is going to be very high, and Vout can never reach VDD because of the effect of the channel. Vout will not be equal to VDD because I have told that since your depletion mode transistor or your enhancement mode transistor is almost it's acting as an equivalent circuit to a resistor. Because of that one, even though the current ID is flowing through this particular resistor, the losses will be taking place. Because of that loss in the current, your Vout will not be almost equal to VDD. It will not be, never will reach equal to VDD. Now the input voltage has been derived from the switching source, that is from the clock surface. Whenever the clock is high, what happens? If clock is high, then we call that logic 1. If logic 1 is supplied, your transistor will be turned on. If transistor is turned on, the output will become as a 0 state. And if switching of your clock is low, then the transistor which you supply here, that is equal to logic 0, your transistor will be turned off, and output will be equal to logic 1. So that's what has been explained here. And this is how the cascading has to be done. Cascading of the device should be done here. Transistor, whenever the two transistors are connected in series manner, we call it a cascaded devices. And when the cascading have been done, we should we should take carefully. We are supposed to design that cascading in order to protect the integrity of the logic levels, or else the logics, if the logic levels have been lost, then the entire operation of your device will be affected. So that's why when making the cascading part, you should make connections between the exact terminals. If the terminals are not connected properly, then the output will be you will not be obtaining the correct output. So in this case, it is a cascading of two inverters. This is nothing else but this is acting as a logical buffer. Logical buffer. Whenever whatever the input you supply here, that is equal to, if I supply 1 here, if I supply 1, then the output of the inverter will be 0, and ultimately this 0 will become as an input to the another inverter, and you get the same output, that is equal to logic 1. And if you supply 0 as an input here, 0 as an input, the output will be 1, and here this output 1 becomes an input to the second inverter, and that will produce an inverted input, that will be inverted output, that will be logical 0. And the pull up device to pull down device ratio, we are supposed to derive that one. That is completely regarding your analog part of deriving this one. We are talking about the ZPU by ZPD. This thing we are supposed to derive that one. There are many expressions. You can find that expression how to derive this one. There's an analog VLSI we call especially. You can see it in the Razavi book. CMOS analog VLSI in the Razavi book. Complete explanation has been given how to derive the W by L ratios and how to derive the PU by PD ratios. These are mainly used for the driving the circuits.